Hey guys, JC Peretz here, founder of AllStarCharts.com, and I am joined as always by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Sean McLaughlin. How are you, Shawnee?
I am good, Big Daddy. How's the first day sending the kid to preschool? Have you recovered? Get
I
emotional
mean,
over there?
I'm good. Mother not so. She has a harder time with it, and of course, the baby who's got to sit through school. I just tell you, I'm happy I don't got to go to school anymore. I wasn't. I didn't want. I wanted to play outside. I didn't want to be in school learning about British literature. No thanks. Um, but I will happily be here at home. I thought you were going to mention the ETH shirt because you said something off air that had an Ethereum shirt, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Ethereum's doing pretty well today. Anybody got a price on that?
I don't
I think
have
it's
one
moving.
handy.
I
No.
think these cryptocurrencies, are they moving? I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe I think this has a little bit to do with the conversation that we're having today, where I don't know about these interest rates. Just ripping higher, not so fast, as Lee Corso would say, right? Not so
Oh, a
fast.
Lee Corso shout out as we get close to college football season. I love it.
See that? I figured you'd appreciate that. I don't know. I think everybody just assumes rates are going higher. I'm not so sure about that. Um, Nevertheless, we had quite the correction in the mega cap tax stocks, and kind of a pivot low late last week on some sentiment heading out the other way now. I think that maybe collecting some premium, not to mention the volatility is elevated. So I'm like, Sean, do you want to buy some out of the money calls or just collect some premium, take advantage of the volatility? You were like, let's just sell the premium. I'm like, all right, how about the Microsoft 310 puts? Sell them October. I didn't think we were going to get 550. I'm like, how much are we getting? You're like 550. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And I thought that we were good there because you like, oh, I like this trade. I'm like, done. And then Straza got to our meeting a couple of minutes later. I'm like, yo, I think you're going to like this trade. He's like, what do we got? I'm like, oh, we're selling naked puts in Microsoft. He's like, oh, yeah, I like it. I'm like, yo, the 310, October 310 puts. He's like, done. I love it. I knew he would like it. So we all like it. We all agree. I'm like, sweet. This was like the fastest we've ever like all agreed on a trade, like maybe in All Star Charts history. And then Sean goes behind my back and decides that he's going to sell a call also. I didn't know that we could do that, Sean. Is that allowed? Are those in the
Well,
rules?
I got to earn my keep around here. This is why you pay me the big bucks, because I bring my own expertise to the trade. And look, I love your trade. Selling the 315 or the 310 puts, I love it. However, here's my thinking. Here's why I added the 370 calls to this trade to bring in even more credit, which in total brought me $7.85 credit.
As opposed to the 550 just selling the puts.
Right. There's a number of reasons why I did this, JC. Number one, that 550 credit that we're getting for those 310 puts, you and I were both like, wow, that's a lot. So when I had time to reflect back here in my office where all the good thinking gets done, I said to
I
myself,
thought all the good thinking got done in hiking.
well, that too. But much like our friend Lee Corso, who also says, somebody knows something. And maybe there's a reason why there's a lot of premium there at those 310 puts. Now, look, I agree with you. I think that's a really strong level we could lean against. But in case somebody knows something and there's a lot of premium there for a good reason, selling those 370 calls will cushion any blow that we might suffer if it rolls over and tests our level. Our stop loss is at 315. If we get below 315, that's where we're getting out.
A close
That
below 315. Sean made a good point that the absolute lows were closer to 310, which is why I was looking at those puts in the first place for the strike. But Sean mentioned that the low close there was at 316, so a close below 315 to add another layer of risk management as opposed to letting it go down to 310, which was what perhaps we'd normally do, is kind of let it close below the strike. In this
now
case, be
hold
a little
up.
bit tighter.
Now hold up. There's another reason that's equally important as to why I sold the 370 calls. Um, Beyond the fact that 370 is higher than the high price that we saw this summer, the high is around 367. Um, Beyond just that, if Microsoft is to rally back towards those highs, even if it threatens to get close to those highs, And I'm not saying it can't happen. It absolutely can happen. But if that happens, JC, you're going to see volatility collapse in these options. Volatility is pretty elevated right now for Microsoft. And
Yeah.
if we go up to 370, all the people that were scared for whatever reason of Microsoft, the premium is going to get sucked out of those options. So we're going to win on the volatility crush. I see it really hard for us to lose on the trade if Microsoft rallies. Of course we could, of course, and that's why we have risk management in place. We will close the trade if it breaks above 367.
Walk
But
through the
even if it
trade.
breaks
So
below,
walk through the trade exactly. Just to be clear, originally we are just going to sell the 310 puts in October, collect 550. Sean went behind my back. I understand his logic, and you're forgiven. You're good. This is good. I'm into it. I'm into it. So walk me through the rest of the trade.
so we're short the 310 puts. We're also short an equal amount of 370 calls. All in, I got 375 for the trade. And look, if we close below 315,
775. 775.
sorry?
775, you
Oh,
mean?
sorry. Yes, you're correct. 775. If we close below 315, that's my signal that Microsoft has lower lows to come and I want out. If we close above 367, which corresponds with the summer highs that we saw about a month ago, if we break that level, I will also close the trade. Although I will say, JC, if we do break above 367, as long as it's not like a moonshot above 367, we still will likely profit in the trade because of the fact that volatility has gotten crushed in that process.
In that scenario, volatility will have gotten crushed, particularly from the elevated levels that it currently is.
Right. And honestly, I would be shocked if I would be shocked if this spread or if Microsoft traded up to 370 before we got an opportunity to buy this spread back at our profit target, which in this case is 380.
So if and when we can buy back this spread for half of what we're receiving, which is currently 775, or if you just sold the puts alone, right? Like, listen, just because this is what Sean decided to do behind my back, you don't have to do that. Let's just say you just want to sell the puts. You're welcome to do that. And now you don't have that risk. You don't have the cushion that this particular trade gives you, but you also don't have the risk of a moonshot higher in Microsoft. That in that case, that would be the best case scenario, right? So there are different ways to take advantage of this. I think just generally speaking, Sean and I guess all of us kind of went into this into this week's trade really thinking about collecting income as an overall theme. Volatility might not be like historically super high, but it's certainly higher than it's been, right? So we can incorporate certain strategies to collect income, and this is definitely one of them. There's a couple of different ways to do it. I feel like I'm more interested in the overall theme of collecting income in this particular sector, by the way. Sean, I figured this is, we could sell some premium out of some of the big mega caps that got beat up a little bit recently. And this is a prime candidate. So I like this trade a lot. So Sean likes the October short strangle. I'm not, I guess you could go either way. There's no wrong way to do it. You can go either way. You could just sell the 310 puts in October for 550, or you could take another layer and also sell the 370 calls. If at any point, the market closes, in this case, MSFT, Microsoft closes below 315 or at any point above 367, we unwind the trade altogether. And where do we take profits? Well, we take profits when we can buy this spread back at half of what we received. So if you sold both the puts and the calls, then that would be somewhere around about 390, something like that, 385, 390. Is that my math okay?
If we're nitpicking.
And if you're just selling the puts alone, you get 550 for that. What are you talking? 275. As soon as you can buy it back for 275, you go ahead and pull the trigger. How's that for the options math in my head there, Shawnee? Not bad.
Pretty good, Big Daddy. And hey, the good news is here, you just sold the puts. I sold both. We can both win, and we can both slap each other on the back. I'm not
saying that I won't sell the calls also, by the way. I'm not saying that. I'll let the audience decide what they want to do for themselves. I personally haven't decided. I mean, I'm good with selling the puts, and I'm fine with that. We'll see. I don't necessarily have to sell the calls today either, right?
Nope, you don't have to. You could, if you think we're going to rally higher in the next few days, you could get a little bit more juice for them later on.
What a country, Sean, right? Amazing. Well, you can do anything you want, right? No wrong way to do it. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, this has been the Options Trade of the Week. I am JC Perez. This is Sean McLaughlin, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
Adios.